I shouldn't have taken the house-sitting job. I swear I'm not the kind of person who spooks easily. I've done overnight shifts at a hospital, worked security at a stadium, cleaned office buildings at 3 a.m. I'm used to empty hallways, weird noises, people acting strange, all of it. But this is different. I'm writing this because I don't know where else to put it, and I need someone to tell me I didn't just lose my mind out there. The whole thing started when I answered a post on a local Facebook group about house sitting. It wasn't even meant for me, it was one of those public looking for recommendations posts. But the original poster, a woman named Ellen, messaged me directly after I left a comment saying I sometimes took on side gigs. She said she needed someone reliable to watch her place while she went to stay with her sister for a few weeks, maybe longer. Payment was ridiculous, almost too good. She offered me €750 a week, paid in cash, plus groceries and a full tank of gas if I needed to come and go. I remember teasing her, saying, "Wow, what's the catch? Are your plants possessed or something?" She replied, "No, nothing like that. You just need to follow the rules." She sent them in a PDF, an actual PDF, like a rental contract. It wasn't long, but it was odd. I remember reading the first line and laughing out loud. 1. Do not look out the upstairs hallway window after midnight. The second rule made even less sense. 2. If you hear someone knocking on the walls after dark, ignore it. It isn't anyone. Then it just escalated. 3. Do not enter the basement. 4. Cover the bathroom mirror with the provided cloth every night. 5. Keep the bedroom door closed while you sleep, even if you hear footsteps. 6. If you wake up and the bedroom door is open, do not leave the room until sunrise. 7. Do not let the cats outside, even if you think they already are. 8. If you see someone in the garden, know you didn't. 9. Lock the pantry door every night. 10. Do not. I stopped reading right there and texted her. This is some horror movie type stuff. But she insisted she wasn't joking. Her explanation? The house was old, it made noises, her neighbor's lights reflected weirdly, the cats got stressed easily, whatever. It's just easier if the sitter has clear expectations, she told me. And I'll admit, the money was too good. I convinced myself she was eccentric, maybe anxious, maybe dealing with stuff. But I needed the cash, and she sounded normal enough over the phone. Sweet even. Nervous laugh. Soft voice. I pictured an older woman who worried too much. She wasn't older. When I got there, she was maybe mid-40s, friendly, put together, but with that constant I haven't slept well for a month tension in her voice. The house itself was, honestly, nice. Big, clean, cozy. No horror movie vibes at all. 2 cats, Milo and June, curled up on the sofa. She walked me around, showed me everything, acted like a perfectly normal person, and never once brought up the rules unless I asked. But when I asked about rule number 1, the window thing, her face changed. She said, "Just trust me, okay? Nothing good ever comes from looking out there at night." She said it the way people talk about a bad memory they don't want to revisit. I wasn't thrilled about the weirdness, but again, €750 a week. I told myself this was an easy gig. Most house-sitting jobs are boring. This one might at least make a weird story later. I signed her little agreement, took the keys, waved her off, and settled in. The first night was nothing. Genuinely. I made dinner, watched TV, the cat slept on my legs, the house felt completely normal. The rules felt like overkill. Everything changed the second night. Around 1:30 a.m., I heard knocking. Not at the door, on the walls. Soft at first, like someone lightly tapping from inside the wall behind the couch. I sat up instantly because the house was otherwise dead quiet. Milo lifted his head. June hissed. Then the knocking moved. 2 distinct taps from the wall near the kitchen. Then the opposite side of the living room. Then back near the stairs. It wasn't frantic or violent, just roaming. Like someone was casually trying different spots. Testing the walls. I froze and remembered rule number 2, ignore it. So I did. I muted the TV, lay there stiff as a board, and waited. It lasted maybe 5 minutes before fading completely. The next morning I convinced myself it was pipes. Old houses make noises. Whatever. No reason to freak out. Night 3 killed that theory. It was nearly 11 p.m. when Milo and June started acting strange. They kept running to the pantry door and pawing at it, meowing in that low, worried way cats have. The pantry door had a little hasp lock, the kind you see on sheds, and I realized that was probably related to rule number 9, lock the pantry door every night. I hadn't. Honestly, I forgot. It was such a weird rule that it didn't stick in my brain. When I walked over to lock it, the cats backed away aggressively, puffed tails, flattened ears, the whole Halloween cat look. And from behind the door, I swear I heard something shift. Not a scamper or a scratch. A shift. like a heavy bag of flour adjusting. Except it was rhythmic. Too smooth. I locked the door so fast I almost pinched my fingers. For the rest of the night, the cat stood guard a few feet from the pantry, watching it, only relaxing once the sun came up. That was the first time I seriously considered leaving. Then night 4 hit. I was brushing my teeth when I remembered rule number 4, the bathroom mirror. I'd been forgetting that one every night, but nothing weird had happened, so I figured it was just anxiety stuff. But that night, for whatever reason, I grabbed the black cloth she left and draped it over the mirror. And right as I did, someone behind me whispered, "Thank you." My whole body locked up. I spun around, but the bathroom was empty. The door was closed. Cats were asleep in the bedroom. There was no one else in the house. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd made up my mind, finish the week, get paid, and never come back. But the house had other plans. Night 5 is when I broke the rules. Accidentally, but still. I broke them. I had been so tired that I fell asleep around 9:30 on the bed without closing the door. Rule number 5, keep it closed while you sleep. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to footsteps in the hallway. Slow ones. Dragging. Like someone walking with a heavy blanket tied around their legs. They stopped right at the bedroom doorway. I kept my eyes shut because rule number 5 said to keep the door closed, and it wasn't closed, and rule number 6 said if I woke up and the door wasn't closed I shouldn't leave the room, but that didn't say anything about looking, but I didn't want to risk it. When the footsteps entered the room, I almost vomited from fear. They came right up to the bed. Right next to me. Then, they leaned down. The mattress sank next to my hip. Something pressed against the sheets. Then a breath, wet, cold, hit the side of my neck. I panicked and grabbed my phone. Without thinking, I turned on the flashlight. The room was empty. Even the dent in the mattress vanished like it had never been there. I stayed awake until dawn, shaking, trying to convince myself it was sleep paralysis. Maybe that's what you're thinking too. I thought it. I prayed it. But Milo and June wouldn't step foot into the bedroom until noon. They sat in the doorway staring at the exact spot on the mattress where I'd felt the weight. If it was just my brain, fine. But cats don't hallucinate the same thing. By then, I was on edge constantly. Every rule felt like a bomb waiting to go off. I called Ellen that morning and told her that I needed to leave early, fake emergency. She didn't argue. Actually, she sounded almost relieved. She told me she'd come back the next morning and pay me for the week. But then came night 6. The last night. And the worst. It was around 12:30. I was killing time scrolling my phone, sitting at the top of the stairs. The hallway window was right beside me, the one from rule number 1, don't look out after midnight. It was hard not to look. Curiosity is a monster. I reasoned with myself. The window wasn't haunted. It was just glass. It was the view that bothered her, right? Maybe it was facing a neighbor who did weird things at night. Maybe I'd finally understand. I didn't plan to stare out. Just check for 1 second. I turned my head and looked. At first, nothing. Just the driveway, the garden shed, the big oak tree. The motion light was off. Everything looked still. Then something stepped out from behind the oak. It was a person. I thought maybe a neighbor. But they were wrong. Their legs bent strangely, like the joints reversed halfway down. They walked unsteadily but deliberately toward the house. And then they looked up. And they saw me in the window. Their heads snapped upward so fast I heard the crack even from inside. Their face, God, it wasn't a face. Or it was, but like someone had drawn it from memory. The eyes were too large. The mouth too wide. Everything arranged just slightly out of place. And when its eyes locked on mine, its body jolted forward like someone had hit fast forward. 1 second it was under the oak. The next it was 10 meters closer. Then 5. Then right beneath the window. Staring up at me. I stumbled backwards so hard I hit the wall. The cats bolted. I heard the thing outside scraping at the siding, climbing maybe. The noise rose toward the window. I crawled to the bedroom, slammed the door, locked it, and hid under the blankets like a terrified child. I could hear something moving down the hallway outside. Not walking, dragging. Like wet rope being pulled along the floor. Then it stopped right outside the bedroom. The doorknob trembled. Turned. Very slowly. It clicked open halfway before stopping. I don't know what made it stop. Maybe the light creeping under the doorframe. Maybe it got bored. Maybe the rules mattered more than I realized. But after a long pause, it slithered away. I didn't sleep. I didn't move. I sat with my back to the corner of the room until morning. When Ellen returned at 7 a.m., she looked at me once and knew. Her face fell. She whispered, "You looked out the window, didn't you?" I didn't answer. She didn't need me to. She paid me. Extra, actually. Told me I'd earned it. She didn't make small talk. Didn't ask for details. Just apologized. The last thing she said before I left was, "It won't follow you. It only stays here. But don't come back." I should have driven straight home. Instead, I sat in the car for a long time just watching her house. Watching her carry her bags inside. Watching the cat slip through the door. And at one point, I swear on my life, I saw something move behind the upstairs hallway window. Something tall. Something with a too wide smile. And Ellen didn't even look up as she closed the door.